Oh, hello, metahumans. I thought it might be the time to talk about Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. And this is going to be a spoiler review. I thought I'd just go ahead and discuss the film a little bit at length and give spoilers. So, if you haven't seen the film yet, please don't watch this video. Let's see, let's stop here and go, it's okay. All right, now I'll go see the video or the movie, and I'll discuss the movie at length right now in this review. And Zack Snyder's, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, starring all these people you know, and featuring all these characters you know. Where do I begin with this 2.5-hour Linkin Park video? I think I shall start talking about the previous film, Man of Steel. And I think this film very wisely goes into Bruce Wayne's day that he had when the Kryptonian invasion hit, and how he was basically pretty much impotent during that whole thing. He was outclassed, outgunned. He could not really do anything too huge except for saving as many random people as he could. He couldn't save the whole building full of people by calling them and telling them, hey, you should get out of that building that's being destroyed. He could only save so many people. And 18 months later, the world has rebuilt. Superman is largely viewed as a hero. Some people talk about a god. Some people talk about how he has just changed humanity. While there are some people who believe he is a threat and believe he brought the war to Earth. And of course, Bruce Wayne is one of those people. And Bruce Wayne kind of feels like Superman could snap and be evil and destroy the world all at once. And his solution is to kill him and premeditatively murder him. So that's what he is trying to do. That is his plot all the way through this movie. And not a fan of that idea. And meanwhile, we have Superman. And one of the things that's, I think, frustrating about the way Superman is written in this film is he is pretty much the Superman we know. He is someone who is trying to make a difference in the world, and he believes in people he believes in being an example of people in bettering themselves. The problem is, I don't think the film writes him that way, or at least he's trying. He's a character that is trying to be that, but, you know, what we see on the screen isn't so much. I think Henry Cavill does a more or less really good job. I think he's a good choice to play Superman. I think he looks the part. I think he's a very good actor. I think he's more versatile than what the part has been requiring him to do, because there's too many scenes of him being stoic and dark, and I know he can do more than that. I know Superman is more than that. And I sometimes wish we would get more than, you know, him being stoic or yelling, or I don't know. He can smile too. He smiles when he's Clark Kent, and he's very good at that. And of course, Amy Adams is quite good as Lois. And then of course we have some of the other characters here. We have Jeremy Irons as Alfred. Flawless. There's no problem with him. I think he is, Jeremy Irons and Alfred are just, those are two great things that go better together. So there's no problem with that. And he's actually written pretty well in the movie. And he has issues with Bruce's mission, actually. He's actually one of the few people on Bruce's side that's going, you know, you sure you want to do this? And let's see, as well as Wonder Woman, Princess Diana's in the film. She is also fantastic. I think Gal Gadot is a great choice. She plays it. She's fairly flawless in this film. She has a nice aura about her. I think going with someone that has like this sense. She has this kind of like European quality to her. She has this. I'm very happy they didn't went with somebody who is very, very white, and you know, she she has an awe about her that I think really kind of stands out. And then we have Eisenberg as Luthor, and frankly, there's something wrong with film depictions of Luthor that I don't understand why Hollywood can't get around. He seems to always be more cartoony, even in the better versions of Luthor, like the Gene Hackman Luthor, or the Kevin Spacey Luthor. And, each one of them have qualities that I really like, but they don't have it all together in, each one of the films. Like, I think Kevin Spacey was a great choice for Luthor, but his plot is really stupid, and he behaves like an idiot. And I suppose Gene Hackman's Luthor is the closest. And people tend to compare, cartoony versions of Luthor with Hackman, but he was very capable of subtlety and menace in his performance, and I don't know why people don't take that away. Anyway, I thought the choice of going with someone younger and kind of arrogant was frankly a good idea, because that's kind of a lot of tech giants these days are kind of younger, in their 20s and 30s like that, and they have a whole slew of money and power come to them at such an early age, and Luthor is an egotist anyway, and evil anyway, so at a younger age that might be very, very seductive for him. I don't know if what he does in this movie works. There's a moment where he has this speech at this little party, and he's starting to give it. And while Bruce is sneaking around, and Diana is sneaking around, and Superman is sneaking around, it's kind of hilarious how bored the audience is listening to him. He's literally like a bombing stand-up comedian on an open mic night, and everybody's polite about it. All that's missing is someone yelling, "You're not funny!" But, he's rich and powerful, so I'm sure everyone's just like, "Oh, yeah, that's nice. What the fuck is he talking about? Oh, hey, you're nice." And I guess we get to the bigger parts of this. Like I mentioned before, Bruce is planning to murder Superman all the way through this film. And, he decides to try and steal kryptonite from Luthor, who's also trying to kill Superman. And we have these Senate hearings that are coming up. I have to say, it's nice seeing Holly Hunter in a movie, in a mainstream movie. I was also very excited. This is a problem I think the movie has. One of my most favorite exciting moments that I almost felt like cheering was the sight of Senator Patrick Leahy in the movie. For those of you who don't know who Patrick Leahy is, he's a senator. He's a still sitting senator. I believe he's in Vermont or something like that. He's a Democratic senator. And he's a huge Batman fan. He's big Batman fan. And for some reason, he's finagled his way into Batman productions. He voiced an episode in the animated series. It's the Wild West Jonah Hex episode. He plays a governor in that. He appears in a party scene in Batman and Robin. And he appears in The Dark Knight. He's the one that Joker says, "You remind me of my father. I hated my father." Yeah, that was Patrick Leahy. And he also plays a senator in this one. He doesn't play himself. Most likely because maybe they thought it wouldn't be a good idea to have himself play a senator that gets blown up. Probably a wise choice on that one. Speaking of which, I think they killed Soledad O'Brien, now that I think about it. Possibly. If she was in the next room on her cell phone waiting for results, she probably got blown up in the movie. Speaking of which, holy crap. That scene, I felt could have played a little bit stronger, frankly. Maybe because Cavill and Zack Snyder decided to play Superman really stoic, although frankly, I don't know how you behave when an entire room of people blow up around you. I'm glad that they didn't go in the direction where the entire world blamed him for that. There were people who did, or thought that maybe he had something to do with it, but to be honest, that's kind of how reality works. We get to the scene, we build up to the scenes where Bruce Wayne's Batman's all ready to kill Superman, and Superman isn't a fan of how he is watching Batman conduct himself. He's learning more and more about his tactics. He thinks he's too violent on people. And Batman pretty much blames him for the destruction of Metropolis in Man of Steel. And he feels he's a threat. So, yeah. You know what? There's a scene where they meet up halfway through where Superman tells him to quit and then leave. And I'll be honest, I think that's a huge mistake in the way that was written. I think Superman, the problem is, Batman's written like an asshole in this movie, and Superman's written kind of dumb. And neither one of those characters are that. Superman is very smart, and he knows how to deal with people. Batman can be an asshole, so bravo, I guess. You did it. But he's not really a premeditated murderer. And he murders a lot, actually. He murders other characters in this movie, not just the fantasy sequence, which I'll get to in a minute. But yeah, he does kill a lot of people. Film Batman keeps killing people, and I wish somebody would stop doing this. It seems like the only film that he has not been a murderer was Batman and Robin, which is amazing to me, now that I think about it. So we get to the end, and Luthor finagles this fight between Superman and Batman. He has Doomsday cooking up in the spaceship. And the method he gets them to fight, I think, is really overly simple and not really thought out. And to be honest, I'm sitting there in the theater thinking there are a number of ways Superman could avoid this fight and still save the day. And none of them pan out. Like Luthor tells him, hey, you kill me, they don't answer back, they kill her. I don't know why he believes him. Or I don't know. I mean, is there a possible way he could have just snatched up Luthor and say, well, we're going to find out anyway? I don't know why he doesn't go to Batman and say, hey, let's not fight. I know he says let's not fight, but then he hits him. I think like a wiser move would have been maybe just to sit down and go, I'm not going to fight. That would be hilarious. Because he'd be all up in his Iron Man suit, his Dark Knight Returns Iron Man suit. And it would be great if he just refused to fight him, instead of constantly throwing him around. Like, when I don't want to fight people, I usually don't hit them. And go, I don't want to fight! Like, it's kind of contradictory. And you know what? I think that's a good metaphor for this film. Zack Snyder tends to have his characters spout off optimistic beliefs and try to set good examples, but I don't know if his films believe that, which is frustrating. I feel like I'm getting mixed messages in Man of Steel in this film, and it's similar to asking Rebecca Sugar to direct a Saw movie. Yeah, she could do it, but Hart probably wouldn't be into that. Or worse, like a Hostel movie. Like, hey, Rebecca Sugar, you want to direct Hostel 4? Like, okay. It's going to be really nice. That's not who you get for Hostel 4. My apologies, by the way, if Hostel 4 does exist somewhere on DVD. Now, let's see, where should I go here? Probably about Wonder Woman. Maybe, like I mentioned, Gal Gadot is, I think, very excellent choice for Wonder Woman. I think she's excellent. She doesn't really figure into the plot too much. It's like she's walking around with her own movie going on in the background. She's investigating Luthor while they are, so, she's 2 movies are going on. We're just not watching her movie. And she ends up, involved in the fight at the end. Although, to be honest, I mean, her role could have been cut. I'm glad she wasn't. I'm glad she's in the film. I enjoyed seeing... she's actually kind of more the level-headed character of the 3 main superheroes in this. I am disappointed that I was figuring she'd be the one that stopped the fight. And that was... I even did a prediction video about that. I thought that she'd be the one to settle it. And she doesn't even do that. It's because during the fight, Superman tells Batman, uh, his mother's name is Martha, and you have to save Martha. And of course that flips Batman out, because we have the parent shooting scene, which is now required by Batman law, at the beginning of the film. Thomas Wayne's last words is Martha, calling out to her, and then suddenly they're buddies. We had a 10-minute long sequence where Batman imagines himself as Mad Max fighting against a evil dictator Superman who kills people at will, and he thinks he's going to destroy the Earth and turn it into a wasteland. Instantly, they're friends. I'm not really sold on that. That could be sold, but I think the movie does it in such a dumb way that I kind of don't buy Batman's heel turn on this. And it's a heel turn, believe me. I do like the fight sequence where he goes and saves Martha. But I do have a question, though. Why did Luthor keep her in the city? He kidnaps her from Kansas and brings her all the way to Metropolis, or Gotham, within the vicinity that Batman or Superman could have saved her. Wouldn't it have been like a wiser choice to keep her in Kansas, or hell, take her somewhere else? Take her to Central City or wherever, or Hollywood, or the middle of the desert. Put a bullet in her head. I mean, she could have already been dead. For God's sakes, we don't really need her within the vicinity to be saved. But it did make for a cool sequence, so there's that. I thought Doomsday was I thought the way Doomsday was applied to the story was all well and good. I thought the main battle was interesting. I was a little surprised that we go all the way into the Superman Doomsday storyline. I mean, I knew we were using Doomsday, but I didn't know we'd be using him in that method. So the film does end with Superman doing the sacrifice to save the city and getting himself killed, and the meanwhile with Batman going, "Oh, I guess he's not so bad of a guy," and him and Wonder Woman deciding to search for more metahumans. Lex Luthor is arrested, and Clark and Superman are both at the same time buried. I do have an issue with the fact that Clark has an open casket funeral in front of all his friends. When Clark and Superman died in the comics, Clark was missing. There was no official death. So when he came back, it wasn't that, it was a little sketchy, but, he was one of the people that went missing and then was found. This one, we have to now explain why he's not dead when he does come back. Superman's a little easier because he's a Kryptonian alien, mysterious figure, and all that. Clark will have to require some explaining, or we'll have to eliminate the Clark persona. Maybe, considering recently in DC Comics, he came out in public with his secret identity, so I don't know if they're planning that for the film series. Maybe. That might be a way out of that. To be honest, that's the only way out of that I can see, frankly. Anyway, I know I'm coming down hard on this film because there is a lot of dumb, but there's a lot of cool stuff too. It's a dumb, cool movie. I wish it was a smart, more fun movie. I have no doubt in my mind that Captain America: Civil War will be better than this. I mean, hey, anything can happen, but at this point, it's making me think that. Like I said, the performances are wonderful. Ben Affleck is great. I think it's hilarious that he was the thing that people really freaked out about when his casting choice was made. And I have been listening to reviews, even people who absolutely hate this movie, spout off the fact that, yeah, he was really great and cool. Like, ha 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 ha. Let's see. I would very much like to see a Ben Affleck Batman film spin out of this. Because, yeah, Batman's a dick in this movie. He's a real awful asshole. He's a hypocrite. He's a dick. And he doesn't really stand by his convictions very quickly. And I really like Affleck's performance. I like his relationship with Alfred. I like the history that feels like Batman's been there a while. And there's a really... The Batcave is awesome. The fact that Wayne Manor now looks like the Skyfall mansion and is kind of abandoned. All that stuff looks really cool. And I would really enjoy seeing a Ben Affleck Batman. Hopefully written by Ben Affleck. Maybe directed by him too. Because I know he's a really good writer. I know he's a really good director. If he put his attention behind a Batman film, I'm very excited about that idea. Also, I will say that it's really nice having a comic book feeling Batman in a Batman movie, more so than the Nolan version, and more so than the 90s version. He does, even though he behaves in ways that I don't agree with for the character, he really does jump around. He has... you don't feel like there's any limitations to this version of Batman, so I think that's effective. With Superman, I wish he was written... I feel like a lot of his stuff was on the cutting room floor, because Superman is a lot smarter than he's been portrayed in the two Zack Snyder films. There are many ways around his problems that he could get through if he just deals with them directly. And I just wish this film had a little bit... I felt like this film needed a little more respect for the character. And I guess to sum up with the film... Oh, before I do, I should mention that Mad Max... Actually, this has several fantasy sequences. First, we have one with the opening where he dreams about his parents dying again, and their funeral where he runs off and falls into the hole, and the bats come through and then pick him up in some sort of whirlwind bat tornado. And I have to confess, I think Joel Schumacher did that scene better in Batman Forever, particularly the cut version. I'm sorry, Schumacher did it better. And then the Mad Max Batman thing, which I think is my least favorite part of the entire movie, frankly. It goes on way too long and is pointless. It's literally pointless. We know Batman's afraid of Superman. We know... We get that he fears that he's going to lead to Earth's destruction or take over or something like that. We really don't need this. I would like to clock it and see how long it is, but it's like it's 2 parts and then it has an epilogue. It's long and it's dumb, and it could have been cut. It actually should have been cut. There's no reason why this should have made into this film. It would have given us a little less running time, or at the very least it could have been replaced by a little more meaningful interaction between some of these characters. I don't even understand why it's in the movie, outside of just giving us a cool desert sequence and have Batman shoot guys or have Superman look evil. I don't care. It's really the worst thing. It might provide us with a cool Batman action figure, so hey, well done, I guess. I think that's it for now. I can't really think of anything else as far as feelings for the film. This film, yeah, like I said, it's got some cool stuff, got some dumb stuff, got some frustrating stuff. We limp on to the next DC film. I hope things get better. It's not terrible. It's more like Star Wars prequels if you put them all in one movie. Oh wait, that is terrible. It's okay. I'd probably give this movie probably 3 ram chips at the most. Maybe 2.5. But yeah, you'll see it. I hope you enjoy it more than I did. But I don't think it's the worst movie I've ever seen. But it's not the best movie I've seen this week. So until next time, push the button, Lindsay.